So this is a very special podcast. It's certainly I've had some French speaking paddle players, but I've never had a paddle entrepreneur from France, to say the least. So in your own words, Camille, let's start with who are you?
Hi, Mentor. I'm Camille Huyghues Despointes. Indeed, as you may recognize, I'm French. And I'm a paddle player in an amateur level. And I'm also the co-founder of a startup called Pongo.
What? I've never heard of it. You're the co-founder. Who's the other founder?
I think you are.
Oh, that's it. So we're going to talk about Pango afterwards and what, that journey. But let's start with just a little bit about more about you. Your background. You're an entrepreneur, and you've done several startups. Tell us about a couple of the startups that you've done that you'd like to explain to us.
First of all, I started studying theater. So I was not born and meant to be an entrepreneur, but finally, entrepreneurship finds me. I don't know.
That's funny.
So I created some startups in education mainly. One was called Viens jouer à la maison. It was a workshop for children, and the other one was called
Come, in English is come play at the house.
Yes, exactly. It was a workshop for children from 0 to 10 years old. Sports, music, theater, lots of activities for young children. And I sold this company to a bigger one than mine.
It's called an exit.
Exactly. And telling my husband that I may won't have any other idea to create a new company, a new startup.
Famous last words.
Exactly. And my husband just laughed a lot and told me, okay, let's talk about it in 18 months. And he was right. He knows me very well. And 18 months later, I created a new startup called The World is a Village. And World is a Village was a kind of Airbnb for teenagers to give them the opportunity to travel all over the world. Unfortunately, COVID arrived at this moment, so we had to close World is a Village. And I don't know, after that, I discovered Padel a few years after. And now here I am creating a new business in Padel.
Right. So talk us through your arrival. Did you come from other sports into paddle, or did you just sort of, as in other racket sports,
No,
or other sports? So because I know you're a cavalier, a horse lady,
yeah.
And I'm just wondering if there any relationship between riding a horse and playing paddle.
Not very much. It's not as easy to say that there are lots of common things, but they do. So you're right. Before playing paddle, I was doing show jumping in competition. So it's very, very, very different. But what I still learning a sport and the technique when you've done that before, whatever the sport is, it helps when you learn a new one because you understand better your body. Your body is you have more you have more conscience of your body, so it's easier, I believe, to understand what to do and how to do it, even if the sport is very different. It helps, I would say, but it's still difficult when you have not done any racket sports before. I think it's when you play tennis, for example.
Yeah, the thing that we talked about, which is the relationship you have with your partner.
Yeah, but it's not
it's not the same type of partner. It's not even the same type of race, if you will. It's a horse, but the relationship with your horse is very special. And I'm just wondering what sort of crossovers you might have ever found in the way you deal with your horse as opposed to your partner on a paddle court.
I would say the energy, meaning that when you ride a horse and when you're doing show jumping, your horse, he feels everything. And when you play paddle, when your energy on the court is not good, or when you're stressed, your partner can feel it. And it's the same with the horse. So I would say the energy. The energy is very important in both sports.
You can see that. I mean, when you watch the pros play, Chingalan, so it's Chingoto and Ali Galan, it's amazing to see how there's an energize. Well, first of all, Chingoto is the energizer bunny. He's the guy who's bringing all the energy. Ali Galan is positive as well, but it's remarkable how you can be consciously creating that energy.
Yeah.
And you just lost a game, you just lost the set. What are we going to do about it? Moan and groan, sit there, slump shoulders, or are we going to try to vivify each other up, buck each other up, even if you screwed up? Let's keep going, keep that energy going. Is that something that you feel that when you're riding a horse, you can do as well in the same kind of way?
Yeah, I would say a horse is a living person. So of course he has bad days or good days, and you can feel it. And it's the same for you. Sometimes you do not ride with the same energy. So the chemistry of the couple is very different.
Mm. All right. So playing paddle, coming from horse, very different sport. What's the thing that really makes you love paddle?
Um, Different things. The first one is that there is a lot of joy when you play paddle. It's fun. And even if you don't know how to play, you do not have to be very good in technique or even in sport in general to enjoy playing paddle. So I love this very much. And I would say the strategy, and that's, I believe, why people are very addicted when they start playing paddle, because you think that everything is in your head. You have to, because you're in a square, you understand easily what you should do. It's not because you understand what you should do that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something with your head, something strategical, which I really like. And I would say also meeting new people, because that's really part of the paddle. And I think that's why it's working so much in our days.
Yeah, in the strategic thing, there's an accessibility to it, but the fact that everything's within the court. So the ball's going to bounce on the side wall, it's going to come out here. It's mathematical. I mean, if it's hit with a certain speed, and all you need to do is get to the right place.
Yeah.
Theoretically, it's a whole other thing, as you say, to do it, but it's accessibly interesting. So even if you're not good, you have an idea of what you want to do. You don't get to it, but there's that thirst for learning, the opportunity to grow in paddle that certainly for me as an older person, I see a lot of older people thrilled with the idea of learning again.
Exactly. You always learn, and it's funny and completely addictive for those reasons.
All right. So let's say, since you're a woman, talk about your experience of playing paddle with women in particular. What do you like about it as a sport amongst yourselves?
So that's a big difference with horse riding, because when you are doing show jumping and horse riding, there is no difference when you are having a competition if you are a male or a female. So for me, experiencing that when you play paddle, there is a difference if you are a male or a female was really something new.
Hmm.
I had to experience. And now I can tell you that when you play paddle with women only, it's not the same paddle as when you play with men. Not at all. So when you play only with women, it's really nice because the strength is the same, the velocity is the same, even if the levels are different. Of course, it happens. You have something which is a good balance. When you play with men for women, for me at my level, it's really a challenge each time. It's much more difficult. I like playing with men. It's not a problem at all. I love it. But it's not the same. So it's as you were playing two different type of games, finally.
Well, I mean, we say the same thing about the pro level. When you watch the men at the pro level and the women at the pro level, the very best, it is somewhat different. I mean, they're obviously, let's put things in perspective. There's lots of things the same, but the quality of the game, the speed of the game, the shots that are being made, and the power, and this very different. And then the tactics become different
Yeah.
because all of a sudden you're playing much longer points, typically in a women's game. There's much more communication, in my opinion, in the women's game than there is in the men's game. And then you know, if you're an amateur, like keep on pounding the table and saying, just watch the women's game because that's so much more accessible. That's so much more what we might aspire to as amateurs. Because to pretend like we're Agustin Tapia or Arturo Coelho is pipe dream, and we're not going to get there. I'm certainly not going to get there anyway. All right, so let's talk now about Pango that we have co-founded together. How do you describe, and when you're talking to customers, investors, how do you describe what is Pango? I'd love to hear it.
Oh, for me, Pongo was built to solve the problem for the players. All the application were built for clubs. And Pongo has this new vision and new way of addressing the market, saying that we are going to solve the problem of the players. All the players, they have to deal with different kind of application, and it's a mess for them. And Pongo really tries to solve this problem. This is really what we want to do.
So, in today's world, well, you're based in Paris. How do you describe the problems for paddle players or in France or in Paris region?
In France, the problem is that there is one application per club, and nobody has no idea of your level. Because the level in France, but I believe it's the same in the UK and in lots of countries, the level is something you declare. So people say, okay, I'm a level 5 or level 4, but nobody can challenge this. And Pongo, the heart of Pongo is its algorithm, where you can classify the players when they enter all their matches. And it gives you not a supposition of your level, but the reality of your level according to who you play, with who you play. And this is a big difference.
So one of the things that we have put together in Pango is an ability for the algorithm based on performance against prediction. And there's also the ability for other players to rate you. Talk us through how that's done.
Yeah, the idea is to stop this habit of self-evaluation. So the result on Pongo and your level is based on your score at the end of a match. But also you have we've gamified a lot the application because we believe that it's even more funny if the application is, you're happy to use it. So you have a very beautiful card player, and on it you have stars. And those stars, they are fulfilled by the other players at the end of each game. So it gives you the vision of the other players of your game.
Right. So it's not just you saying I'm great, it's how the others look at you.
Exactly.
And what's interesting, of course, is that we've got different skills that we're looking at according to the levels. So that when you're at a beginner level, there are certain competencies that you can do. And then as you get better, they change the competencies. So that this will become an interesting thing, a feature for everyone to start looking at. And then how do you think that that's going to work out in terms of impacting the algorithm? I mean, or at least the rating, when you have the numbers coming in from others, I mean, obviously it's an experiment that we're doing because there's no other application or rating system in the world in sports that does that kind of combination factor. How do you see that playing out?
I believe that it's a combination between the vision of others plus the reality of the score, and this define your level. And it's much more realistic than having your own vision of your levels or your level.
Mm.
So of course, sometimes for players, it can be disappointed because they believe that their score is much higher than they thought
Mm-hmm.
or than they really are. But sometimes face reality with it's not only about winning the game, it's also about who you win against. I don't know if this is very English, this sentence. I don't know.
Well, what I can say, I'm just reading a book right now by a guy called Brian Lowry, a black PhD American professor, and his book is called Selfless, and it makes me think of who are we? The idea of who am I? And in this case, how good am I as a paddle player? Who am I as a paddle player? And in his book, he goes to great lengths to explain that you as an individual exist as an individual in a system, in an environment, in a group. And so the regard that others have on you absolutely has an impact on who you are. And whether or not it's the one you like that people say, or is in tune with who you think you are, this is part of our life in reality, not just on a paddle court. You're always thinking, I hit a good V-bar or I hit a good shot, but the other people don't see it that way. And the opportunity for us, therefore, is to be able to learn if we want to grow.
Exactly. And it is also about being part of a community. And this is what we want to build here, a community of paddle players. So having the idea of others is also being part of a community, because people take time to complete and give their opinion about who you are, how you play. And this is also what we want to build, taking time for others, playing with with players who has the same level, or if they don't, just know about it, and have this opportunity to know who the others are, to create the best experience for everybody, and also give the opportunity to meet people all over the world. This will be the next step of Pongo.
The global community.
But yes, to create this global paddle community and be a reference concerning the level.
All right. So this next question is about the mixed game where men and women are playing. We talked a little bit before about how it is for you playing with women and how it can be different playing with men. And so let's just do a little bit of a dive into the notion of how we are handling mixed paddle. So when a woman gets on the court and she's playing with three men, what we've done is we've given a compensation, because the fact is, this is our belief, is that men and women are different, and athletically there's a difference. It's not that it's worse, it's just there's a difference. and that you have more strength, more height, more power in the male body generally than you do in a woman's body. And so the issue that I often have, Camille, is when I'm explaining this, not feeling like I'm jeopardizing my reputation, to say that we've adjusted when we have women or women playing on the court with men. How do you explain it?
I would say that what is interesting is to be as close as close in the rating, to be as close as possible as the reality and create the good impact on the level. This is what we are talking about. So it's not a question of course, when you play a match with three other men, it impacts and it impacts the game, so it impacts the result at the same level, of course. So yeah, it's not just about contabilizing the score. It is also about facing reality of the game.
Yeah, so a little bit back to the question of who are you facing our reality. And yeah, so one of the things that we hope is that we become a global community with Pango. And I had this little, and I remember with a few conversations we had at the very beginning about what about the other things that paddle brings to the world? You talked about joy. It's also a great way to meet people. Isn't it also a great way to meet the new love of your life? And so could we not be encouraging mixed paddle to make more couples around the world?
It's an option. I don't need
Well,
paddle for this, lucky me, but I believe for others it could be an opportunity indeed.
yeah. Well, one of the things that I'm hoping we do with Pango is that, the whole name was based, or a little bit of a clin d'oeil, a wink to the tango, which is that sort of very svelte, sensuous Argentinian dance, and the idea of having a couple on a court. There is lots of business being done. They say it's the new golf of business, the new networking sport. And I feel like it is also a great way to have fun, great way to have exercise, and a great way just to meet people in general. So who knows, more hookups or could be possible if we can get the mixed rating algorithm correct. That's what I'm thinking about. Anyway, so other things. So let's say where are we in Pango? How would you like to describe the status of Pango today?
I believe we launched Pongo at Roland Garros 2 months and a half ago, with very, very good return from the users, from the players. And we are working very hard each day to improve what we are doing, the application, to be as close as possible as what the players need and what the clubs needs. But to be honest, I'm very happy of this first of those first months. We really can see that there is really a need here, and the way we approach it seems to be the good way to develop Pango. So I'm very happy. Clubs and players here in France are very curious, and the one who download the application, they really use the app to create games and etc. And we can really feel that it is the beginning of a community, because people feel really at ease to contact us, give us their feedback. So we are really in the game, I would say. So
Love
we
it.
have to develop, raise money, like every startup, raise money and develop and work hard to give the best experience for paddle players. And this is it.
Beautiful. So we're recording this. I'm looking at my computer. It's December the 1st. in the late afternoon. This recording will be going out on December the 3rd. What incentive can you give to anybody who's listening to go and immediately download Pango?
I would say at start, you download Pongo for your Pongo card, which is really cool. But you stay to get your Pongo level, which is even more cool. And you stay for this and the community, and lots of new things coming very soon on Pongo.
You don't want to give away the scoop, eh?
No, I think it's cool. Download Pongo and you'll see what surprises we have for you.
There we go. All right. So how can somebody go download Pongo? Because I mean, when I look on the App Store, I see lots of Pangos for kids.
No,
How
it's
what's it?
Pongo Sports, Pongo Padel on Google and on the App Store. So just type Pongo Sports or Pongo Padel. Both works very well.
And talk about how much it costs and how long it takes to actually create your profile.
Or it takes less than 1 minute and a half, I would say, to create your profile. And for now, the app is completely free.
That hopefully is a good enticement. Camille, lovely to get you on my podcast. We've been talking about this for a while. I'm wearing my Pango. It's an P for Pango.
Great.
It's there on Over the Heart, and we will play more. Good to have you on the show. Well, that's the famous last words, or the famous new words, I say, for the future of paddle.
I would take a quote from Mark Twain, which says, they didn't know it was impossible. That's why they did it.
Thank you, Camille.
You're welcome, Minter. Bye-bye.